What's up, guys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden. Very quick episode. I'm going to do a correction to an earlier episode. I said earlier that the Dakota Access Pipeline was depermitted. That is not true. The Keystone Pipeline is depermitted, so that's my mistake. Always admit when you're wrong, guys. It's a rule of Fight Club. This episode is largely about an article I saw on Common Dreams, though. The amount of stock buybacks and dividends being put out to shareholders by some of these big pharmaceutical companies that have the rights to these vaccines has been inordinate. Okay, so here I'm going to read you the numbers. $26 billion paid out in dividends and stock buybacks to the shareholders of Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and AstraZeneca. So if you guys know, they each have their own vaccine that's out. And beyond that, unveiled just ahead of the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson's annual shareholder meetings on Thursday, the new report notes that Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna are projecting revenues of $33.5 billion this year from their mRNA vaccines, which are largely sold to rich nations. So, two things about this, guys. It says in here that with that $26 billion in dividends that were given back to the shareholders, that you could vaccinate the entire continent of Africa, which we're going to have to do. Like we covered on an earlier episode, you have to get herd immunity on like a global scale for us to actually get COVID under control. Otherwise, it's just going to keep mutating and it'll just keep coming back and it'll become what's called endemic, like the flu. We'll never actually get it under control, which I think that's probably what's going to happen. So just that number alone, the amount that these huge companies are going to take back, or that are just giving back to their shareholders via dividends and stock buybacks, is enough to vaccinate Africa. So if we were just to force these people to release their patents on these, we could get it done, and it would cut into their bottom line, which is exactly why they're not doing it. That's part two of this, guys. When they stand to make this much money, if they're capitalist companies, which they are, they're not going to try to vaccinate the world out of the goodness of their hearts. They're just going to pad their bottom line, which means that they will hoard these patents for as long as humanly possible instead of allowing them to be widely distributed. Biden needs to get his weight behind the correct countries in the World Trade Organization and say, no, we need to release these patents and get these vaccines distributed globally. We have about 8 to 11 months to do so. Epidemiologists predict. I don't have high hopes that that's going to happen, because I don't think Biden's even going to do it, because he's a capitalist to his heart, and he knows a lot of his donors are making a lot of money off of keeping these more effective vaccines, or some of the American vaccines, mRNA vaccines, are better than some of these other ones like AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. They don't allow those to go to poor countries. They only sell them to rich countries. And as you can see, they're making money hand over foot. That's disaster capitalism, folks. So this is nasty for two reasons. It's crazy that they're making so much money off of these vaccines. But remember, it's also because they're not releasing them to the world and helping us get this enormous crisis under control that they're making so much money. That's capitalism in a nutshell, folks. So I'll give you the link in the description box below. And then, sorry about the mistake between the Keystone and the Dakota Access Pipeline. I thought the Dakota Access Pipeline might be part of it, like a subsidiary of it or something. But it's not. So that is still permitted, but Biden's still running oil through it, which is going to screw with the water supply of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. So my my opinion on Biden hasn't changed at all. I just slip of the tongue. Keystone is unpermitted. Dakota Access Pipeline is permitted, but Biden should, if he's going to depermit and shut down the Keystone Pipeline, do the same thing with the Dakota Access Pipeline, for the love of God. But we'll see what happens. I can't count on Biden to do anything good. So I'll have my breakdown of the debate between Destiny and Richard Wolff later today, guys. We'll see ya.